manager here, Mr. Samuel. Thank you so much for joining. Our communications manager too is here, Donia. Thank you so much for joining. We have our community manager, Favor. Thank you so much for joining us. And Esther, program assistant. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Shonde Ikoko Yanolua. I'm the program manager, and I'm also your host for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We are going to start now, and I'm going to just give a quick introduction of what trusting is about for those that maybe this is your first time of hearing about trustings, maybe this is your first time of joining any of our webinars. Trusting is a community for teenagers. Trusting is a community for teenagers, yeah, where we are able to help teenagers to develop their fullest potential, to make teenagers to be responsible citizen and to be, adults when they are adults, so that they can also be responsible adults. So we do a lot of programs, we do a lot of webinars, workshop, conferences, community service. Every event that we do is an effort to building a wholesome teenager so that they can be able to achieve their goals, their aims, their aspiration, and be able to lead when they become adults, and even lead even from being a teenager. So we are telling our teenagers that you can do it. You're not too young to actually achieve great things. So that is what we do here at Trustings, and we have our community for teenagers. We have some of our community members on this webinar. I can see Kunle Olatuboso. I can see some of them here. Timilade, thank you so much for joining. So we are going to go to our first session here before we bring in our first guest speaker. So we are going to be having our first session, and our first session is the icebreaker. We are going to the icebreaker. Okay, so our icebreaker. Can you still see my screen? So our icebreaker is you're going to use the chat box to answer this question. If you had 10,000 naira today as a teenager, or even for everyone, this exercise is for everyone. If you had 10,000 naira, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? So just 2 minutes. Let's see what you will do with 10,000 naira. So what's the first thing you buy? What's the next thing you buy? What is that thing that you would do with 10,000 naira? If you had 10,000 naira today, what would you do with it? Okay, I will eat jollof rice first. Money has finished. What will you do? What will you do with 10,000 naira if you have it? Let's answer that in the chat box. Oh, I will buy a big bowl of yogurt parfait. Paul. Bowling. So I'll give my mommy and daddy out of it. Okay. After eating jollof rice, that's nice. Are you sure anything will be remaining? With this our economy. Okay. More answers to come. More answers to come. What will you do with 10,000 naira? If you have 10,000 naira today, what would you do with it? If you had 10,000 naira, what would you do with it? Okay, I will get a nice bag and shoe. Oh, nice. Okay. I will first buy a bucket of Maltesers, then give my brother the rest. Nice one with 10,000 naira. Are you sure? Okay. Let's keep the answers coming. Let's keep the answers coming. Okay, for those that doesn't know how to use the chat box, you can just you can raise your hand. Maybe we can just have one or two people to speak, then we can proceed. Oh, someone said I'll buy my sibling a new trouser. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, new trouser, that's nice. You can raise your hand if Yeah, if you're unable to use the chat box, maybe we can just have one or two people. Okay. Thank you so much for that. And oh, someone said I'll buy a new bag. Nice, nice one. I want to be like you when I grow up too. All right, so I'm going to be introducing our first speaker, Mr. Mobolaji Babalola. He's a business analyst with Sixth Sense Consulting. Is a renowned financial intelligence um, advisor, and he's going to be taking us on understanding financial literacy. And thank you so much, Mr. Mobolaji Babalola, for joining this webinar. And I'm sure our teenagers are really excited and willing to learn from you. And hopefully, they'll, after this webinar, they'll be able to, understand what financial literacy is. And thank you so much. You have the floor right now, Mr. Mobolaji Babalola. Please, you can unmute yourself and take us on this journey. Yeah. Let's welcome.
All
Let's welcome. Yeah.
all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible enough? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr.
Fantastic.
Bolaji. We can hear
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. Do I call you Yano, right?
Yes, you can
Thank
call me. Yeah.
you. Thank you for all the mails and thank you for the clarity you gave when I made request for it. So thank you so much. And I really want to say thank you to Deborah Dada for putting up such a wonderful platform. It's always exciting for me when I see people creating things that in a way it's building lives, right? In a way, it's giving people direction towards a proper foundation. So I really appreciate what you're doing. And my prayer is that from here, it's going to touch the whole world.
Okay.
That the trust things, the platform will have roots in several nations of the world where things are found. That's my
Amen.
prayer. So thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
to and thank you to Favor also. Favor is my girl, and if I we still saw today at an event in Abeokuta, right? So I count it a great privilege being here. Every time I have the opportunity to speak, I do not just take it for granted because there are like hundreds or thousands of people that can do the same thing I do. So when people trust me enough with their time and with their platform, I want to, within the shortest period I have, I want to give the best information I can give. And it's not just about giving, it's about what people do, what with what has been given, right? So you see hundreds of people go for a conference, and at the end of weeks, at the end of months, or at the end of a year or years, only like 20% of them have maximized the things they've heard. And you wonder what happened to the others. I realize that the Pareto principle also plays in things like this, the 80-20 principle. It's like it's just 20 people that 20% of the people that will make do with what they've been taught and what they've heard. So I want to ask today, and I want to appeal that as we listen to this, we make good use of them. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person when it comes to the knowledge. It's only a fool that feels like he knows everything, right? So I'm going to be sharing what I know, and I know that there will be questions afterwards. When you ask questions, what they do is that they draw knowledge from where I haven't touched. I can't teach everything in 20 minutes, right? But when you ask questions, it makes me touch some certain areas that I wasn't able to touch within my allotted time. So I hope there will be questions after the session. And um, growing up, our teachers make us feel like dumb people ask questions. When you ask questions too much, they make you feel like you don't know. That's why you're asking questions. And growing up, I realized that it's wrong. It's just a very wrong narrative. I believe this is for teens, so I have to say this. Teenagers should learn to ask questions. I have a young girl, and she asks questions a lot. And if there's anything that excites me about her, is number one, she reads a lot, and number two, she asks questions a lot. Smart people ask questions. They ask intelligent questions. Dumb people do not ask questions. So if you are asking questions, it's because you're curious, it's because you want to know, it's because you want to learn, and you're asking intelligent questions, right? So I hope to have questions at the end of this session. All right, let's quickly talk about financial literacy. I actually want to talk about two major mindsets. And if every teenager can get these two mindsets, I'm telling you, in shortest time, they're going to have more results or more rewards than they could have anticipated. Sometimes I sit and I ask myself, I really wish I know the things I know right now. I really wish I knew them 25 years ago, right? I'm not sure I will be at the level where I am right now. I won't be here right now if I do. So when I find teenagers and I find young people, I try as much as possible to make them see that what we had those days they have better right now, right? They have better right now, and it's very very important. But before I talk about the two mindset, let me mention because one of the things the mail I got, I had different kind of topics there. There are two different mails that we're talking about, but I held on to one, and I will just share a brief about that before I move to the two mindsets. So let me quickly talk about savings, right? Um, we do not have a culture of savings in Africa, right? We tend to live and show we are wealthy, right, when we are not. Um, Everything a lot of young people do is to prove to the other person they are successful. And the truth is, we don't have to prove we are successful. People will see it when you are successful. It's success is not just something you have to prove. It's not something you have to show. It will be seen. It's just like a tree. If a tree has a fruit, it doesn't have to prove it. You will see it. If it doesn't have, and it fakes as if it does. By the time you move closer, you realize it doesn't have it. It doesn't just have it, right? So a lot of people live. For instance, you have a young guy that has a job, and he lives in a single room. He has basic things he needs, and the moment there's an increase in salary, what does he think of? The next thing he thinks of is getting a two-bedroom or getting a three-bedroom or even moving to a duplex. The next thing he's thinking of is buying that shoes, buying the outfit, changing the entire wardrobe, not because his new role requires it. I am not against it if the new role requires it. I encourage people, if you get a new role, you get to a new space, and you need to dress for it, please go ahead and do so, right? But not when you're just being promoted in the same space, and the next thing you're looking at changing your car or living in a bigger apartment, right? It's very important that we note that if you have a raise, don't raise your standard of living immediately, right? Because it will take you few months to be able to put things together and live above that. While I'm teaching, I'm going to be mentioning three phases, but let me quickly mention it here because it might come up again in my teaching. Number one is there is a time in your life where it will be not enough, right? There will be a time where you are just living and learning to manage and thrive on what you have that is not enough. You can't even take care of other people, but you can literally just live by with what you have. Then the next phase is just enough. Just enough. See, when you get to that phase of just enough, a lot of people will think you're stingy if you're not taking care of them. A lot of people will think you're selfish if you're not going all out for them, but they just don't know that what you have is exactly what you need, right? In fact, sometimes before some people get paid at the end of the month, um, they've exhausted everything, right? I really wish I have so much time. I'm a business analyst and I love people. I love talking about businesses. I love people starting businesses. And I'm going to try as much as possible to talk a bit about it there because salary for me is like a bottle of water. I'm a believer, and you permit me to share a little knowledge or lesson from the Bible, right? There's a scripture, there's this story when this woman was living home, Hagar was living home, and Abraham gave her a bottle of water, and she got into the wilderness and she had a dream. The boy in her hand was the dream, right? A son is a promise of a future. If you have a son, it tells you there's continuity. I hope somebody got that. It tells you that your name continues. It tells you that there's still productivity ahead if you have a boy. So I'm just using that as an instance. So the son actually represents the future, the promise of a future. But all she had was a salary, which was a bottle of water. Listen carefully. The best any man can give you, anyone you work for can give you, is a salary, bottle of water, bottle of water. And listen carefully, because she was with a vision, she was with a dream. The bottle of water couldn't last. There's no way salary will last you if you have to carry some other things, right? So here we go. You can't even take care of your community if all you have is a salary, just a source of income, right? But what happened after that? God knew that, see, you need more than a bottle of water, and God gave her a well. A well is a business. Business is what generates resources and generates funding as often as it can. And with that, you can take care of the community, you can take care of your dream, you can take care of your lifestyle, you can take care of whatever you want to take care of. But living on a bottle of water reduces how far you can go. All right, so that's just by the way. So right, let me make it known to you that we do not save because we have enough. We save so that we will have enough. Let me say that again. We do not save because we have enough. We save so that we will have enough. And why do we save? We save because of investment, so that there will be opportunities for you to save. People tell you, our parents used to say that, I don't know if people still say it, they will say save for the rainy day. I don't know if you've heard that before. Listen carefully. If you save for the rainy day, the rain will fall every day. Yeah, rainy day talks about the day you need money. Oh boy, I need money every day. You realize that tomorrow somebody is not feeling fine, you need money. Or next tomorrow there's a new bag, you need money. Or just like someone said the other time, you are just craving for um yogurt parfait and there's saving somewhere. You just draw it out, right? If you save for the rainy day, there will always be rainy day, my dear. So don't save for rainy day, save for investment, right? You do not save because you have enough. You save so that someday you will have enough, right? I can take a lot of business lessons from the Bible, and that's what we saw when Joseph gave the idea of the 7 years of drought and the 7 years of abundance, right? So that they can invest, and other nations were paying them to get what they have saved in 7 years. So there are two things I need us to focus on: assets and liability. Teenagers, listen carefully to me. For those on the call and those that will listen to the recorded version later, listen carefully. Most people spend their resources on liability, they spend their asset to get liability. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. And pardon me, I look at young people and I tell them, see, you have a smartphone in your hands and you don't make money with a smartphone. You know what that means? It means there are a lot of dumb heads carrying smartphones all around. Dumb heads carrying smartphones all around. The smartphone you have in your hand, the internet you have in your hand, the app and the software you have on that phone or on that system can give you money, right? Can give you money. Somebody gave me a phone 2017 or 2018. I really can't even remember. I think 2018. He gave me Samsung S9 Plus, right? At that period, I think that phone was 330K, right? And I was using an Infinix that was just maybe 54K or 60K at that point in time. So when he gave me, I sat down and I told myself that if this 330K phone does not pay for itself in certain period, I gave myself a certain period. I said then I'm going to sell the phone because it's a disgrace. I can't be using 330,000 naira phone and I'm asking somebody for 2K, for urgent 2K. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's just a dumb head using a smartphone. So I sat down to strategize. How does my phone become an asset and not a liability? Listen carefully. A lot of people are carrying phones all around and it's becoming a liability to them, most especially now that data is so expensive. Listen, I have never run out of data in several years, and I'm not joking, because I have system whereby my data is being restored. And how? It's just a simple task. It's a simple value. I'm going to come to that because money is an exchange for value, right? So right now, today, as I speak to you, there is a client of mine that what it does pays my data, my team, my staff, everybody. They get their data. I'm just trying to make you see that you might have the little money you think is not enough, but you're putting it on liability, and that's why it's not enough. You pay for Netflix because you've got to chill. Yes, I get that. But listen carefully. What's paying for that Netflix? Right? What's paying for it? What's paying? Who is paying for it? The internet you use every time, you need to ask yourself who is paying for it. If this phone is not paying for it, then this phone is useless, it's becoming a liability, right? So it's not, and this is what I want us to know. Every day we wake up, guys, every day we wake, every day as we are right now, we are spending money. The moment you open your eyes every day, you're spending money. So Iyanu, please, you can text me, send me a message. Let me know when I didn't check the time when I started. So, and I really want to keep to time. I have a lot to say, and I wouldn't want to overshoot my time. So every day you wake up, you make money. And let me give you an insight. Once you enter into your bedroom and you press the tube, the toothpaste, you're spending your money. It's your money. You didn't spend it once, but it might last you 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, but it's your money. For every time you brush, you're spending money. The moment you turn the tap, and that tap opens, you're spending money because you pumped that water with something you paid for, either your fuel in your generator or the unit in your meter. You're spending money. The moment you wake up in your house, you're spending money because, for instance, you paid 800,000 for the rent in a year. Just break it down into 365 days. That's how much you spend for staying in that house every day. Every day, every minute, every second, you are spending money. As you are listening to me right now, watching this call, you're spending money. Your data is being burnt, right? Now ask yourself, if I spend money this much, do I make money this much? Which means if I spend money every day, can I create assets that can give me money every day, right? Let me blow your mind. The world does not sleep. Let me say that again. The world does not sleep. Hold that on your left hand. Now, let me give you another. This world in which we are runs on transaction. It's transactional in nature. Right now, this is 4 p.m. here, and my elder brother just woke up in New York while I have been busy for the last 6, 7 hours. He just woke up. Right now, somewhere in Japan or South Korea, they're about to say good night. While you are sleeping, some people are working round the clock. While they are sleeping, you're working. The world does not sleep. Guys, the world does not sleep. Let me say that again. Let it sink into your head. 24 hours, they tell you you're sleeping 8 hours. You are the one sleeping. The world does not sleep. And if the world is transactional in nature, that means transaction does not end in a minute. Transaction does not cease for 1 minute. For every 24 hours you have, 12 midnight, 3 midnight, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., transaction goes on the planet. Ask yourself, if I spend money every day, do I make money every day? So I don't have so much time. I'm going to that. Liabilities and assets. Things, guys, do not spend your time building up liabilities. Spend your time building up assets. Because this is one thing I told myself early in life. I will not know everything. There's no way I will know everything. But what I know will pay me enough for me to pay for the things I do not know. Right? Let me explain that. I do not know anything about mechanical engine. So when my car is giving me a sound, I have to call the mechanic. But what I know, what I teach, what I do pays me enough to pay the mechanic to do the things I don't know. Right? So if there's a problem with my plumbing system at home, I call the plumber. Why? Because I do not know the plumbing system. I don't know what to do about it, but I ensure that the things I know can pay for the things I do not know. So build so much assets, right? And this is what I tell young people. Let me tell you before I move to the next point, is the fact that have a depth of knowledge. You must have deep knowledge about something. You must have deep knowledge about something. They must know you for something, and you must have breadth of knowledge about every other thing. So if you're talking about sport, you're talking about law, you're talking about the trade war between US and China, I can talk about it. You're talking about cars, you're talking about Hyundai from South Korea, you're talking about Honda from Japan, you're talking about Benz from Germany. I can talk about all that. I might not have deep knowledge about those things, but I have breadth of knowledge, wide knowledge. My knowledge, the width of my knowledge in those things are wide. They might not be deep, but about some certain things, I have deep knowledge. That's why you called me to come and speak to people here, because I'm a business analyst. So if you sit me down for the next 7 hours to talk about business, I'll go ahead and talk about it, right? I handle businesses for people in diaspora in Nigeria. That's what I do. So I must know as much as I can. So that's very important. Now let me jump. Let me go. Let me talk about budgeting in 3 minutes. And I think this will help you. There's something called SNOA matrix. SNOA matrix. SNOA matrix teaches us how to manage resources that are not enough. Pareto principle also does that. But for this lesson, I'm going to teach the SNOA matrix. The matrix has 4 columns. Number one, there are things that are important but not urgent. Important, not urgent. Number two, there are things that are important and urgent. Number three, there are things that are urgent but not important. Number four, there are things that are not urgent and they are not important. Don't even waste your life on those things. Let me recap. Number one, there are things that are important but they are not urgent. They are not shouting. Number two, there are important things and they are urgent as well. Number three, there are some things that are urgent and not important. And number four, there are things that are not urgent and they are not important. Listen, if you can break all your tasks, all your spendings, all your tasks per day and spendings into these 4 columns, you will know where to put money, you will know where not to put money, right? So I won't spend so much time on that because I need to talk about the two mindset and I'll be done. Please let me know how many minutes I have left. And please kindly be fair to me. Let me know how many minutes I have left. All right. So if you're there, let me 5 minutes. Beautiful. Thank you. So let me talk about the two mindsets. Number one is money mindset. Number two is the builder's mindset. So let me start with money mindset. Money is an exchange for value. Listen, guys, you don't sleep one day, wake up and find 10 million naira in your account for doing nothing. That's scam. It's fraudulent. You might be arrested. But people can give you money because you've been a blessing to them. That's value, right? I get things from people. Someone sent me a wristwatch just a couple of days ago, and when I found out how much that wristwatch was, I was tempted to go and sell it, but I decided I wasn't going to sell. So it's very important. Money is an exchange for value, right? It's an exchange for value. The world runs on value trade. Value trade. Let's look at our system. We were taught in school that there's how do I put it so that you understand? Okay, let me use rain. Now the rain pours, the sky gives water to the earth, right? And the earth is full, and the sun comes out to take the water again into the skies, and the sky pours the water again, right? It goes like that. If you don't give, you don't get, right? That's what it means. Now, human beings, we give out oxygen. I believe we all understand that. Sorry, we give out carbon dioxide and we take in oxygen. The trees, the plantations, they take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen, which we take in, right? So it's we giving the carbon dioxide that is valuable to them. They take the carbon dioxide and give us the oxygen that is valuable to us. The system of this world runs on transactions. It runs on value trade. You give value to get value. Unfortunately, there are a lot of young people, and it's pathetic and annoying. They want value, but they don't want to give value in return. And that's why we have a lot of frauds. We have a lot of scammers around because they just want value, right? I need to get it into your head. The system in which we are, the world in which you belong, the planet on which we are, runs on value trade. Nothing gets anything without giving something, right? It's very important we get this. Nothing gets. The trees give out the oxygen. We take the oxygen gladly. Wake up tomorrow and tell me I don't want to give the trees my carbon dioxide and block your nostrils and block your mouth. You're dying in 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay? You die in 1 minute, 1 hour. You have to give to get. The moment you give and you don't get, you have been defrauded. The moment you get and you didn't give, You have defrauded somebody. You have just scammed somebody. It's that simple, right? So money mindset, guys, understand that there is money. Don't let anybody tell you there's no money. What silly statement is that one? There's money everywhere, and money is not. See, wherever people are, when I do this business, I tell people wherever people are, there is money there. Wherever people are, there's problem. Wherever there are problems, there are solutions, and solution is the value that draws money from them. So let me quickly explain this. If you live in an apartment, you have problems there, right? So if somebody solves your problem, what problems do you have when you live in a place? Maybe 20 people live in an apartment, in a building, in a complex, and they have problem of water, they have problem of transportation, they have the problem of eating, they want to eat, they have problem of making their hair, they have problem of clothing, they have problem of light, power, and all that. So somebody is solving that problem, and you're paying the person. Hey guy, what problem are you solving and somebody is paying you for? And don't tell me you're young. Don't. Money doesn't know who is old or who is young. I beg. There are old poor people and there are young wealthy people. It's just a principle this world runs on. You pay a lot. You pay the taxi driver, you pay the Uber driver, you pay the woman selling bulb, you pay the woman selling milk, you pay the woman selling water, you pay absolutely everybody. I wake up. Who pays you? How many people pay you? And it's not about the margin, the veracity of the hugeness of the margin. No, it's about the volume of people who pay you. The volume. Dangote makes how much on noodles or on spaghetti? How much? Nothing. It's not that much, but it's the volume. It's the volume that moves out of his factory every day that makes him one of the wealthiest in the world. Right? So it's very, very important. That's number one, money mindset. The world does not sleep. Transaction goes on every minute. There was a time I used to have meeting with my client outside the country 3 a.m. While you are sleeping. Me, I was making money. Right? I saw the trust gap. The trust gap is so wide. People at home, the people abroad do not trust the people at home with their project. And I said I was going to feel this. So I created a system, a simple system that shows everything. Thank you very much. That shows the owner how everything runs. You must look for a gap and fill that gap. Money comes when you provide value. Number two, which I will do in 2 minutes, is the builder's mindset. The first is the money mindset. The second is the builder mindset. Listen carefully, everyone on this call, we run on two systems. The first one is survival mode. The second one is significant mode. I taught this expressly in one of my books. Everybody started from the survival mode, right? But where we are supposed to be is the significant mode. Let me tell you, survival mode is I just want to make money to fix my hair, make money to buy data, make money to eat, make money to support your lifestyle. You get what I mean? But see, I won't have time to share details of how I used to teach these things. But if you move to the significant mode, you realize that it's not just about you. It's about other people that are attached to you. This is April, January, February, March. I can tell you how many families and how many people can say, thank God for your life for the last 3 months because of the impact I've made in their lives. And listen carefully, if you live on salary alone, if you can't manage money very well, you can't manage people, you can't help people, you can't be a blessing to people. Builders mindset, build things that solve problems. Start thinking about building. Our culture, our educational system is teaching us to live in the survival mode. It's tiring and annoying. It's tiring and annoying, but it's supposed to teach you how to live in a significant mode, how to build things, build software, build products, build systems, build businesses that is affecting lives. That's what we're supposed to be like. For instance, Federal College of Education teaches people how to teach. It doesn't teach them how to own a school, how to own university. It's annoying. In as much as you teach me how to teach, it's fine, but can we have a curriculum that teaches them the business side of schooling, the business side of building a university? But everybody is leaving Federal College of Education and is looking at how to get a job in one nursery primary school. Annoying. Agricultural schools. What are they teaching us to become? That's the point. So if you do not have a builder's mindset that hires people, that creates systems that touches life, then I don't see how you want to manage wealth, right? So I'll leave you with these two mindsets: money mindset, builder's mindset. Yana, you give me a minute. Let me share this scenario and I'll be done. Is that fine? Do I have your permission?
All right.
Right. Thank you. So, I don't know how many of you have been chased by a dog here before, but let me use this scenario. Number one, there's a young guy being chased by a dog, and there's another one searching for his dog, right? So the one that was being chased by a dog is not in control of his life. He runs based on the pace of the dog chasing him, right? The one searching for his dog is in control of his life and time because he's the one searching for his dog. So I liken the one running away from a dog, I liken him to be the one living on this survival mode. He needs to survive or else he gets beaten by that dog, right? So he only rests or sees success. What he sees as success is the dog backing off. If the dog backs off, leave him alone, he feels he's successful. And that's where a lot of young people end. Now I can afford to pay my rent. I can afford to buy a car. I'm married to a successful man, blah, blah, blah. That's where they end because the dog pursuing them has gone back. But the other guy, success for him is nothing until he finds that dog. And that's what I want every teenager should be. What's your purpose? What are you searching for? What's that dog that is missing that you're searching for? That's how you should live. Do not live like someone running away from things because you don't have the perspective, you don't have the control over things. But when you're the one searching, you have control over things. You take risk. You don't mind trying a way that is not working, and you come back find another way because you know you just must find that dog. You know what success is for you. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to the brother. Thank you, Yano, for giving me the last 20 minutes plus to speak to these amazing souls. If I have questions, I'll take them in a few minutes before I leave the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insightful session, Mr. Babalola. Before we take the question and answer, I know Ms. Deborah would like to say one or two things before we take the question and answer. Ms. Deborah, you have the floor.
Oh yeah, thank you. If Miss Deborah, it feels very long. Please, my name is Debs. Okay, so hi guys, and thank you so much, Mr. Balaji, for that session. Very inspiring. I know people always say that, oh, they wish that they learn some things when they are younger, and yeah, they wish they knew some things when they are younger. But I've seen a perspective today that even as a very much older person, I've heard things that I wish I heard them when I was a lot younger. And that's why we have trust things to not only hear those things once, but like keep hearing them. There's a power in repetition. When you're constantly like hearing something again, back to back, over and over again, it increases the significance of that thing, and you're more in tune with it. You can easily like delve into exploring things that you hear more often. And that's why social media is so much impact on us today. Even TikTok, you watch one video and you realize that for the next 30 minutes you're watching similar videos to that thing again. If what we have created, if algorithms have seen how we as human beings work, how much more we human beings to actually see how people relate to things and keep hammering and giving value over and over again the same thing. I've just said that to say that this is a very inspiring session, and I have like a couple of things that I've learned myself, which is that the world does not sleep. So nobody's saying don't sleep, but just having in mind that the world is always on the move and it's transactional, and having a money mindset and a builder's mindset. And I think it also still flows to things I used to think of in the past, like for especially for social media, they are creators and they are consumers. A lot of us are consumers, and we have very few people actually creating things that would actually change the world. So this is genuinely a very, very, very great session about like the mindset. And I would really love to hear questions from teenagers. If you can drop your questions in the chat box, or if you are bold enough, please raise your hands to ask your questions. Yeah, and I'll pass it over to you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Debs. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Babalola. So we are now at the question and answer session. If you have question, please raise your hands. You have contribution, please raise your hands. You can use the chat box. You can raise your hand and unmute yourself so we can have that quickly in the next 2 minutes. So we're going to take questions. Anyone can raise your hands. It's like we understand everything, no? Okay.
Personally, I think it was actually a very, very easy to understand session. Like
Yeah.
the choice, it was quite very easy to understand, and I'm super grateful for it.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Mr. Babula. It was actually a very, very inspiring session. Thank you. And I put some of the quotes in the chat box. We can also try to go through it and learn one or two things from that. Thank you so much for being here. We're really, really grateful. And we're going to move straight to our second speaker.
Yeah, so thank you. It's an honor being here. Thank you so much, Deborah. Dada. Thank you. Thank you, Yana. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. Take care.
Thank you. So we hope when we need you next, you'll be here for our teenagers.
Anytime. I'm here every time you need me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so moving on. We have our second speaker here, and we are really grateful because our speakers are very, top notch, amazing. We have Mr. Boluwatife Odelowo today, and he's a financial advisor. He works with FRNG Limited, and he's going to be taking us through our second session, which is on investment and entrepreneurship for teens. Yeah, investment and entrepreneurship for teens. I'm actually very excited that he's here, and we're going to be learning more from him too. Let's welcome him with emojis. Yeah. So, Mr. Boluwati Fiodolo, you have the floor.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. We can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate everyone. Miss Deborah Dada, thank you very much. And Miss Yano, I really appreciate you. And Miss Duni, thank you very, very much. Everyone that has put this together, I really appreciate every one of you. And trust me, I am happy and privileged to be here, and I really hope that we're going to have a good time. I know that we're going to have a good time. Yeah, and whenever I find any opportunity to speak to my siblings, younger ones, I mean, people that, things now, we understand that, okay, things are younger generation, yes. So I usually feel very, very excited because it gives me the privilege to pour out some of the knowledge that I have acquired over the years, and also share some of the mistakes that I've made over the years, and to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes so that we'll have a better future. When Michael Jackson sang a song, Heal the World, and when the All Stars sang, We Are the World, they are talking basically about raising a generation who are stronger than their predecessors. And so in the financial and the money aspect of life, you see, it is only expedient that we do better. And by so doing, we need programs like this. And I pray and hope that the Lord is going to give the community more resources, more strategies, and wisdom to make sure that they, fulfill their mandate, because I believe this is a mandate. And then you all shall receive strength by the grace of God. All right, so I'm going to be speaking on investment and entrepreneurship. Whenever I hear this word investment, it takes me back to the days where we I and some of my friends, we made some crazy mistakes on investment, and I feel like if we had known better, we wouldn't make those mistakes. So I'm going to try to keep it simple because I believe I have things here, and I'm not going to speak as though I'm talking to the young adults or the adults themselves. So I'm going to keep it very simple, straightforward, and try to maximize these 20 minutes that I have. I'm going to try not to shoot beyond 20 minutes. Yeah. So first of all, we'll be doing introduction to investment, business idea development, and financial independence. And trust me, these three things that we'll be talking about, I would like us to take down some notes and you know use it, make use of it, because it is not about acquiring the knowledge. Wisdom is not just knowing; it is applying what you know. Yes, the right application of what you know. Yeah. So investment is simply planting, like simply put, plant. It's like a farmer that goes to the farm to plant a seed. But before you can plant, you must have seed, right? And I know that in agriculture, some people go to buy seed to plant on the farm. But in real life, when we talk about money, yes, every money that comes to your hand has a seed. That means for every profit that comes into your hands, even if you have something you want to use it for, I'm sure there is nobody that is here when you buy mango from the woman that sells mango at the market. You don't eat both the yellow part and chew the seed too. Yes, you don't. When you are eating the sherry, the local sherry, that is what we popularly known as agbalumo. You eat all those sweet things, suck the juice and all of that. You don't chew the seed. But it is so unfortunate that especially younger generations, things when they get some profit, or let's say they were gifted money or they got money in any way that God has blessed them with, they spend everything. They don't set aside the seed. The seed. And what does investment do? It's investment gives you the opportunity to multiply what you are spending. Yes, investment gives you the opportunity to multiply what you are spending. It is making your money work for you, putting your money to work, like meaning you want your money to multiply. When we say making your money work for you, we don't mean your money is going to develop legs or start doing hard labor. Yes, but it is like putting your money out there to do things that are going to give you returns, profitable returns. Do you understand? So that is basically investment. Investment is not Ponzi. Is not if I'm a Christian, so I would like to have the permission to quote some wisdom that the Lord has given through His Word, and we can I can talk about Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2. He says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come on the land. You see, Ecclesiastes 11:2 states it clearly. Invest in 7 ventures. Because when we talk about investment, people feel once you have one investment, it is enough. Invest in 7 ventures. This book of Ecclesiastes was written by King Solomon, who we know to be a very wise man. In fact, the wisest man, as some people will say. But that's not the topic for today. But at least he wrote this book, and there he said, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. That means he's saying you can go beyond it, like unlimited. As far as you still have the capacity to start anything. Go beyond 7, go beyond 8, because you do not know the disaster that will come upon the land. And the land there means you do not know the disaster that will come upon the one you started yesterday. You do not know and this is the reason why many people who were doing business some years ago right now are begging on the street, because they put all their eggs into that one business. You see, this is wisdom from Solomon, telling you that you should spread out your money, spread out what you have. Do you understand? So this is investment. And so I will just quickly dive down into the ways to invest. Ways to invest. When we talk about investment, you also need ways to invest. You need the how you can invest. You need the what to invest to. You need the channels of investments, ways of investment. And so, number one, I wrote down here buying stocks. I know this sounds so impossible because we are in a country that we hope works very soon. Yeah, you won't hear it from me that the country does not work. So we are in a country that we hope works very soon, and stocks simply means you looking at companies or looking out for companies where you can buy shares. Let your money be part of a working business. Yes, let me just use it that way. All right, I don't want to use big companies now. Okay, let me just say you have a friend who is who has a successful business, but you don't have the capacity, the energy, the human capital to start a business yet. While you develop yourself in that field, you can make your money be part of a business that is already working. Sign in some agreements and just sit back, let them be doing the work, and your percentage that you get from that particular business is that's just like a local way of explaining buying stocks to you. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we
Hello.
can.
All right, thank you very
Yes,
much,
we
thank you very
can.
much. So all right, so just investing into a working business is buying stocks. So the second here is lending out money for interest. Yes, I did not say lend your friend money for interest. Yes, you can lend out money to high profiles. And when I mean high profiles, I'm not just talking about people. I'm talking about businesses and organizations, because of course men has a nature of being greedy. When you pitch it out to a friend who has a working business, that when you pitch it out to a friend who has a working business that you need to buy into his company, he thinks ahead and says, no, 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 no. Are you trying to tell me that I will not be giving you some of my profits or something like that? Blah blah blah. You might not want to sell or give you opportunity to be part for your money to be part of what is making his business to run. But he can need money and you can lend money to him or her, telling them to pay so percentage. In that way, you still have your money and you are still expecting some of your money to come back with interest. But never do any of these that I've mentioned without a written and an official legal agreement. Yes. Never do any of this without legal agreement. Don't go and give 100,000 naira to your friend now and say, I'm expecting an interest of 120,000, an interest of 20,000, making a total of 120,000 from you in the next 6 months. They won't even ask. If the money goes, it has gone. There's nothing you're going to do about it. It is only going to be mean that you are now creating enemies with a friend or something. So it is very important that anything you are going to do, you need to apply wisdom to it. Yes, and so number three, fixed deposit. Fixed deposit, and this is one thing that many of us are now doing. I mean, many young adults are now doing. The teenagers, some of them don't know about these things. They just use like their phones for Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all those stuff. But fixed deposits, many of you are familiar with piggy vests, some of those apps that gives you privilege to earn an interest after locking in your money for a while or something. That too is an investment, even though it's an investment that has a very little margin, and that means more time, very little profit. But at least you know that the amount you put in there is not going to come out the same. Like you're going to have an additional some few thousands on it or something. Yeah, so that's it. While the fourth way to invest is through mutual investment. Mutual investment. And what does that mean? That means that you spread your risk. Like I said already in Ecclesiastes, you spread your risk. Do multiple businesses. Do multiple businesses. It is not hard to start a business. It is only hard to sustain that business, because you are going to need to invest a lot of things. And so I'm not going to be talking of investment in, because there are different kinds of investment. There's personal development that has to do with investing your time and all those stuff. We are talking about money now, so that's why I'm just sticking to the plan because of time, and I'm even trying to rush up, and so that I can cover very essential points. So number five is real estate. Real estate. I remember there was a friend, I was asking him, okay, I noticed that he was spending some cool money, and I was like, okay, my brother, what do you do? What's happening? You've not given me updates like we young guys usually say. You've not giving me updates. What's going on? And he told me, Philip, I buy land and I sell lands. And I asked, I said, are you a realtor? He said, no, not that kind of realtor that they will say, this house is going for just 300 million naira. You will love it. No, not all those kind of realtor and all those stuff. He said he buys land, local lands, like um 4 million naira a plot of land. And after 3 months, he sells for 4.5. So when he gets 4.5, he will take that 4 million naira again and go to another place, buy another land of 3.5 or 4 million. And after another 6 months, he sells it for 5 million. He takes that money again, buy another land somewhere else. So he was just buying land up and down, and he was just buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling after a few months. And he makes his profit from it and use it to take care of himself and all those stuff. So I thought to myself, I said, okay, yes, this is one idea. This is what, if you don't have the quality of people who can buy 50 million naira land, 250 million naira house or something, you can get a land that they sell 1.5. I'm sure in 3 months, if you put it out back for sale, you should be able to sell it for 2 million, at least, to people who do not even know the value of the land and are just looking for lands to buy. You should be able to sell it for 2 million. When you sell it for 2 million, go and look for another land that they're selling 1.5, buy it, 500,000 on. So people have these kinds of investment, and the profit that is on it does not mean you should eat it. Like the first speaker has spoken, he has spoken on financial intelligence. Like, I really, really love that session. You see. So I'm going to say that time waits for nobody. Yes, time does not wait for nobody. The earlier you start, the better for you. The earlier you start, the better for you. I saw some students when I was in school. They something that they do something that they do is, whenever we have practicals in the laboratory, they usually demand that we come with lab coats, we come with graph, pencil, eraser, and all those stuff. Do you know that because of that information, they knew already, or they know already, that some people will default? So whenever it is the week of practical like that, I think in my school we usually do practicals then for about 3 weeks or so. They knew that there is no way, out of like more than 3,000 students, at least 2,000 students are going to forget one or two of those items that we were asked to bring. So what they do is very simple. They will just buy like ruler. They will buy like 100 ruler, buy graph, a pack, 2 packs, 5 packs, buy eraser, and come and stand at the venue where we have the practicals. And trust me, if they were selling that ruler 100 naira outside the school, at the venue of the practical, they sell for 200 naira. You don't have a choice. You must buy it, because it is a criteria for you to enter the laboratory. And of course, students and carryover, they are very, very scared of carryover. So these are little ideas that I have seen people use to even take care of themselves in school for a little while. For a little while, you might imagine that the profit margin on one ruler is just 50 naira, But 15 naira with 1,000 people, that's a lot. That's 50,000. 50,000 from just selling or from just taking advantage of the carelessness of others, from just taking advantage of the forgetfulness of others. So these are the simple ways to invest. Look around you. Look at what people need that they are lacking, and then try to solve that problem in the smallest way. These people that I just used as illustration, they did not set up a kiosk in front of the laboratory. They did not set up a shop or a store. They did not tell themselves, this is a great business idea, but if I can see 1.5 million, I should be able to do this. No, with 10,000 naira, if you buy 3 packs of ruler, at least you should be able to see 15,000 naira. You quickly go out back to where you bought it and buy another pack. There are still students that are going to make that mistake again tomorrow. In fact, some of them, as they leave that laboratory, they will misplace those items, and tomorrow when they are coming back again for another practical, they will come and buy. So anything that is a problem around you, you don't have to start big to start. You don't need to start big to start. So let me run. Yes, and I need you to understand that every investment has risk. What does risk mean? It means, what if it goes bad? Yes, trust me, any investment you do, try to ask the person involved, or try to check what is the risk involved. If, for example, you are trying to give money to somebody to do something, like you are trying to invest in somebody's idea and all of this, and the person tells you, don't worry, just bring the money, we will make the money, there's no risk involved, know that the fact that there's no risk involved itself is already risky. Just know that the fact that there is no risk involved in itself, that is already a risk. So back out. Every business has a risk. Even with the illustration I gave, what if students came to the laboratory with all their items? Yes, you go and use your ruler to design your room. You will use your graph to do wallpaper in your room, because you will not sell. So every business has its own risk involved. Do you understand? So I'm going to be going straight into business ideas. Please, when I'm exhausting my time, please, I also like to know. Thank you very much. So business ideas. You don't always need to do what you love. Sometimes you must love what you do. You see, I don't know, but this idea of do what you love, do what you love, do what you love, that's where the opportunity is. Sometimes you can do what you love and not get anything from it, because in itself, love is not. Why am I trying to divert into emotional explanation to this? Okay, let me just say, love is a commandment. So sometimes you need to do what you need to do. You need to. Sometimes your passion will not put food on your table. It is good to do what you love, but you also need to love what you do. Sometimes it is only necessary that you do something, pending the time that you find the opportunity and the resources to do what you love. For example, allow me to use marriage as a case study. Look at the olden days where people betrothed people for marriage, and our fathers just see a girl, and let's say his family just say, this is the girl you are going to marry, and compare it with this present age where everybody is saying you have to marry who you love. Please, which of the marriages last? The marriage of now or the marriage of those days? You will see that it is the one that you were told to do that actually is lasting now, because these days, out of 10 marry who you love, only 2 is surviving. But now we are not talking about marriage. Let's just go straight into business. Okay, let's just go straight into business. So sometimes what you love is not what you should be doing. And I usually tell people one of the best ways to find your calling, one of the best ways to find what your destiny is what gets you angry. What gets you angry is one of the best ways to find what your purpose and calling is. You don't always need to hear a loud voice. You don't always need to see lightning and thunder with a voice very audible saying, "My son, you should be a doctor." You don't always need that. You need, once you detect that something gets you angry, sometimes your calling is in it. I'm going to explain. Now, when you, for example, you see people that are always falling sick, and there is this compassion and hatred, this anger you have for sickness, you should know that something is calling you to find solution to that. When you look at the life of your family and you are angry with poverty that is going on that has been lingering from lineage to lineage, from generation to generation, you should know that you have a calling into finance to bring that family. Are we getting what I am saying? Sometimes your purpose and calling is in hunger. So sometimes business ideas come from the things that upset you. And I don't mean destructive obsession. Yes, I don't mean anger that is destructive. I mean something that you are passionate about, that saddens you, that you are so angry with the fact that, why can't I get a solution to this thing? What is this? Why can't I get a solution to this? What is this? It pains you, it angers you. It means that you have an assignment to do in those areas. So, like I said, you don't need a big shop to begin. I'm trying not to shoot beyond. Please, I would like to know how many minutes I have, so I can just, if I need to skip, I will have to skip.
Yeah,
If I need to skip, I will have to
actually,
skip.
your
Please.
time is up,
Okay.
but you can just have 1 minute to round up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, business idea is generally built on planning, budgeting, and marketing. That means always write down your goals. Write down your goals. Write down the things that you want to change. For budgeting, always watch your spending and keep track of your money. Watch your spending and keep track of your money. While for marketing, you have to learn how to tell people about your business. You have to learn how to tell people about your business. And so, if I'm going to move to financial independence, I would say that having enough money to live the life you want without depending on anybody, that's financial independence. If you have to live, some people think that leaving your parents' house and going to live on your own while you are still calling your uncle, your auntie, and still using style to ask your mommy or your daddy for money, is you are not yet financially independent. In as much as you still need friends to help you, in as much as you still need little help from your mommy or daddy, you are not yet financially independent. So financial independence is having enough money to live the life that you want without depending on anyone. It is like being rich. It is having to meet your needs met. When you can say, "I got this," then you can say that you are financially independent. So now, how can I get financially independent? By saving, by investing wisely, learn about money, read books. Is going to help you read books. Avoid unnecessary debts. Avoid unnecessary debt. In your goals, set in your business, set goals and be patient. Be patient. It is expedient that you are patient. It is expedient that you are patient. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And I'm so sorry for shooting, I think, 2 minutes beyond time. So I'm so sorry. But I would like to take questions if there are any. I'd like to take
Thank
questions if there are
you.
any. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. In fact, that
Thank
was
you
an
very much.
amazing session. Thank you so much
Okay.
for that
Thank you very
beautiful
much.
and an amazing session. Before we take the
Mhm.
question and answer, Miss Deborah Dada, I don't know if you have any address.
Genuinely, I would say that these sessions are actually Very, very great sessions. I appreciate the amount of work that has been put into putting this together, the talks. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip. We are super grateful. I think one of the major things that genuinely did stand out for me is the fact that you taught investment in such a way that people that have really never heard of it is that they know that it's actually a thing, and actually seeing that it's not too early to start knowing these things, start knowing that there's something called fixed deposits and something called piggy vest and all these things. And you just, again, it's just knowledge. No knowledge is wasted. You just know those things, and in the future when you hear it, you'll be like, I feel like I've heard this thing before, and it just all adds up. So I'm super grateful for this session. It speaks to me personally as well. And yeah, thank you so much for taking our time to spend this evening with us. We are so grateful.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you
Please.
so much, Debs. We're going to be taking the question and answer. If you have question, you can write it in the chat box. You can also raise your hands to ask the question, and we can just do that in 2 minutes. Any question? Question?
I think I've got a
Okay.
question on behalf of the teenagers.
Okay.
So it's just do, and it's to the speakers, both speakers, sincerely. Like, do you think it's too early to start hearing these things, especially in a culture of like being in Nigeria and everything? Everybody is almost. I mean, we are trying to not be on survival mode because we should be like on like the sustenance mode instead. But in an environment where survival is almost like the basic or the average life of everybody, do you think it's too early to start considering these things? Or what are the lowest skills, the lowest spectrum that you can actually start considering these things?
Okay, I would say for me, it is not too early to learn. In fact, if let's say 40% of the things that we can be taught in schools has to do with money and investment, I think we are going to have a better generation because we won't just be walking around money. We will be working in different areas, in different fields, like different sectors, agriculture, technology, because all of these things together is what improves the pocket of both individuals and a nation. When they see the importance of money, it will drive them and push them into finding out every possible legal way at which that money can be seen, at which that money can be received and stuff like that, because money is not money goes beyond a printed paper. Do you understand? Money goes beyond all of that. So I feel it is not too late. In fact, like the first speaker Maroga said, and I wish we heard some of these things a long time ago. Yes, I wish we did. In fact, many errors that was made and many things that our actions and inactions would have been better. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for that response. Yeah, no, I could pass it back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have a question in the chat box. How do we invest as teenagers? Can you lead or assist teenagers through? Maybe briefly.
Okay, thank you very much. As teenagers, well, I believe that every teenager who is going to invest should do so under supervision. And when I mean under supervision, look for somebody who has an understanding of investment, who you can tell to mentor you as a teenager, even as adults and as grown people. You don't It is better that any investment you are trying to do, any business you are trying to start, you have a mentor. Yes. So how you can invest as teenagers is, first you need to have a mentor. pitch your idea to the individual and let him give you guidance. Every other thing is in guidance. Every other thing is in guidance, because there are different forms of investment, different kinds of investment, like I mentioned, and we don't have a specific investment now that is in the question, you know. So that's it basically. Just have a mentor. Have a mentor. Pitch your idea to your mentor, and that mentor should not. A mentor is not somebody that is just older than you. Yes, a mentor is somebody that has the quality of what you are trying to become. Yes, so look for somebody who has business intelligence. Look for, yes, just look for people like that, and just, pitch your ideas to them.
Okay. Thank you so much. Like he said, a mentor is not someone that is just older than you, but someone that has the quality of what you want to become. So yes, thank you so much, Mr. Delo, for that beautiful and amazing session. I'm sure we've been
Thank
able to
you.
learn a lot. We've been able to learn a lot, and thank you for honoring our invitation. We hope that when next we ask you to come, you'll be able to show up for us and impact knowledge to our teenagers. Yeah.
By the grace of God, yeah.
Thank you so much. So we are going to be doing something quick, everyone. Is something that we're going to be doing individually because of our time. We won't be going in, I won't be breaking out into rooms. We're going to be doing it in the chat box. We're going to take just 3 minutes. You can just think about it. Of everything that we have learned today, you just have to think about it. Just take 3 minutes to think about it. So if you have 10,000 naira today, what business would you do with it? What business would you do with it? If you have 10,000 naira today, what business would you do with it? So we are going to be using the chat box for just 3 minutes to just share business, food business. Okay. Food business. What other business would you do with 10,000 naira? Any other business idea that you want to share with us with 10,000 naira? Mm, mm. Liquid soap and house cleaning products. Amazing. Yeah, definitely. With 10,000 naira, you can get materials to get to do liquid soap. Yes, amazing, amazing. I think we are learning business ideas so that you not have somebody that will give you 10,000 naira and go and eat jollof rice. Remember the first question, you said you eat jollof rice. Some people say they will buy trouser. You are seeing business idea now. Beaded materials, yes, amazing. So please don't go and buy trousers. Don't go and eat jollof rice first. Don't go and be doing giveaway that is not necessary. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. It was really an amazing session. Thank you so much to our guest speakers, Mr. Babalola and Mr. Delo. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I'm going to invite Big Debs for a closing remark so we can call it a day.
This is probably the shortest closing remark you ever hear. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and spending time with us in this time. We would usually have our webinars on a regular basis, and we hope that every time you get 1 to 2 points to learn out of this. This is not going as short as I thought it would go, but thank you so much. See you next month on the next month webinar. So I love these speakers. We are super grateful you decided to do this and take out time to teach us. And I pray that the Lord will increase your knowledge on every side in Jesus' name. Amen. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for